I'm Maxwell Rice, and I was the director of Ctrl+Z. During the interview process, I always wanted to be director. I kind of came into this video production this year knowing that I wanted to be the director, and so I'm very happy that I got the role that I wanted. The pitch process for Video Production 3 kind of has two main parts. One is the pitch that you do to Miss V to try to get your role, and then the second part was pitching your scripts to teachers. So Miss V every year grabs 3 teachers and has them prepared to listen to every student's scripts, and you basically read off your script to those teachers. From those, the teachers decide 3 scripts that move on to the next level of like choicing, I guess. So like all the other ones are eliminated, and then from there, her friend Kurt in LA, who's a producer, chooses one movie that he thinks is the best, and we move forward with that movie. So this year we got Ctrl+Z, and I'm very glad. It was a very interesting movie.
My name is Gia, and I am the producer. Some challenges that we face in pre-production, and I think this always happens, is just a little bit of lapse of communication between because everything is kind of coming together at that point, so departments don't always know what's on the shot list, and so we really had to do a lot of meetings and team activities in order to get all on the same page.
For most of us, just before the kickoff meeting is our first time reading the script, so we're kind of figuring out all of our different departments, what our responsibilities will be, what tasks you'll have between pre-production, production, post-production. And so at that meeting, it's a lot of listening to other people, just because everyone wants to figure out how they can contribute to the movie in the best way that they can. The kickoff meeting really helped us establish our position on the movie and kind of gets everyone on the same page about what we're getting, what's expected of every person, and just figuring out the overall gist of the movie.
My responsibilities really were managing the budget and making sure that we were using the funds properly, and making sure that each department was able to kind of purchase the things they needed.
This year for video production, me and Gia actually got scholarships through the Sacramento Metropolitan Cable Commission, which were very generous and gave us a very large fund to basically use on anything that we needed throughout the production of the movie.
The first kind of thing we did was we had each department make a budget breakdown, and I looked at that budget breakdown and put it into a budget sheet, and that's kind of how I started to allocate the funds.
A lot of that money actually went to buying the lighting. We bought a lot of new lighting that kind of gave us fluidity on the set, kind of allowing us to move quicker and figure out less, because we can kind of put a light inside the frame, which because we got a ton of little small lights. We got bar lights, which are the ones that we used in the party scene. So that scholarship light wise allowed our set to be a lot more fluid and a lot quicker setting up.
I was told that we had to find people outside of the class, which kind of caught me off guard. So I originally started by making flyers. I put them up all over the school with a Google form, and then we had them come to a flex, and we had held auditions with me, the producer, and the director, and it went pretty well. With auditions, obviously so many different people coming in with so many different talents and takes on the characters. We were also doing script rewrites at the time, which definitely played a big impact on the script, because we would have them come in and read the lines that we gave them, but we would also have them do improv, and I think a few of those moments definitely made it in to the final script.
Bella, our actor for Maddie, actually originally auditioned for the part of Olivia, but we told her to come back, and when we had her reread, we actually had her read for Maddie, and we really liked her as Maddie, because people try out for specific parts in the movie, but they actually fit in better at different parts.
There was a few roles where we had one or two different people in mind, but there were definitely some roles that we were locked in on. Joey and Bella were definitely 2 people that we all, as soon as they left the room, we all just kind of looked at each other and smiled, because it made our job so much easier that we didn't have to do callbacks for them, because we kind of just knew.
Candue, I'm sorry.
Wow.
I liked her.
I liked her for Olivia too.
I think I want to read her for Ash.
That's what I was saying. She
I-
should
yeah.
read for Ash.
Yeah.
She had like that
We'll
softer.
do
Do
it.
you know? Do you have her contact information?
I do.
So we want to see it for Ash,
And then who else do you guys want to?
We want. We want.
no,
Bella
because
Costa.
we'll be bringing them
So
back
like
next
for
week,
Olivia?
right?
Yeah,
For-
We'll be bringing
we liked
them-
her from
Oh,
Maddie.
that's
Well,
Maddie.
Maddie.
Okay.
and then
Okay.
Joey for Olivia.
Joey.
Yeah.
The chemistry was amazing. I mean, between I think Joey and Tanaway have been friends for a little while, so they already had very good chemistry. And Bella played the part perfectly of the kind of bully or popular girl.
Joey and Tanduay all worked really well together, and so that just made our job so much easier.
We went to Brendan's house, Milena's house, and then my house. And then outside of my house was pretty brief. We were kind of just looking at where we would place camera for the last shot, which me and Devin had kind of already figured out what that was going to look like. I even got some test footage before we even went to my house. So overall, outside of my house was pretty brief. Brendan's house, we were kind of figuring out his garage, because that's where the party takes place, kind of figuring out where we could have extras, where we could have lighting, where we could have the extra crew that doesn't need to be in the garage. Also figuring out where we could have all of our like talent and all that. And that's when if I were Ash, I would pull you backwards. You'd come over to like this T mark over here. We leave that conversation, and now it's.
Are you gonna give them that moment to have that conversation to play out if you want, so it feels
Yeah, we
more
can just-
abrupt?
Yeah.
Like,
it's gonna be in the middle of the conversation.
You want to hold for a beat though.
And then also at Milena's house while we were location scouting, I was kind of trying to figure out how we would frame this one shot, which we wanted to like show a split between Miss V's character, the mom, and Joey's character, Olivia. And that's when I kind of figured out that the stairwell had like a little handrail, which we could literally use to divide the frame in half. So while we were at Milena's house, we actually like figured out that shot, which kind of divides the two worlds.
My name is Mihalina, and I am production designer for the film, and I also worked as hair and makeup. I think a lot of people don't appreciate art department as much as they should. I feel like it's a really, really cool position. It's not traditional director of photography where you're in charge of the visual look of the camera and the lighting. It's the physical look of the film, and I think that's something that's super duper cool and super underappreciated. So during production, my biggest responsibilities were making sure that everything was running smoothly on set in terms of getting all the locations to look how they were supposed to. So for the montage scene, for example, I was in charge of making sure that there was continuity in the changes that were happening to Olivia's room throughout the montage and how those different changes looked on camera. It was definitely a challenge. There was a lot of stuff that I wasn't expecting, like having to physically build a bedroom in the studio instead of having an actual bedroom to shoot in. So that was definitely pretty cool.
I think the biggest challenge I had was making the posters and designing the bedroom. Another challenging thing was actually building the room itself and like screwing all the walls in here, making sure the lights and the desk were right. It was just a lot of work.
I was kind of in charge of making sure that all the departments were all good, that there was no issues. So like talking with camera, lighting, art, letting them know what shots we're getting, what what the overall day is gonna look like, kind of letting them know like the run through of like the scene that we're getting.
I was the one on the camera for basically 95% of the shots, I'd say. So favorite, I don't know if it's memory, but I feel like shoot day was a party scene. We had like a little scene where it was a bit of like a dolly back, but we did not have a dolly. And Miss V's husband, shout out him, he's probably watching. But he had like an idea to use a skateboard, so I was standing on the skateboard while he pulled me back to get a dolly, and it ended up turning out pretty good, and I think it's in the movies.
During production, one of my main jobs was to make sure that audio was coming into a receiver correctly. So that means making sure the audio gain, the levels, if it was peaking or too high, making sure all of those settings were correct.
But yeah, making call sheets basically and just like outlining everything in terms of like what all shots we're gonna go first and just making the whole schedule too. And you guys probably hear me on set, sitting quiet on set. Yeah, camera speed, sound speed, that's really my job. Just to make sure everybody's on task and just so we can get this done as fast as possible.
We're switching back and forth between like what are the scenes?
The OGs
Scene 1 and scene 5, so the OG versus like the redo.
Oh wait, did someone take a picture before we started moving on the desks?
No. Well, no, they're already in a good pattern.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if that was before we.
Joey's here.
Scene 5 got you first?
No, we're doing scene 1 shot 2 and scene 5 shot 2.
Okay.
Look, it's on the call sheet, guys.
So hold on, hey, is the dolly in 5-2? And then we're doing 1-5
1-5.
and 1-5 and 5.
So, Jen, scene number 3.
My bad. I was coming up.
What are you rating?
There we
This
go.
is when, I'll tell you when.
No, it's not.
Why'd you eat the board?
Thank you. Okay, camera speeds. Sound speeds.
Ctrl+Z, scene 5A, take 9.
Alright. Action. Cut. Circle. Extras obviously need direction because they don't know exactly what's going on in the shot, so I kind of had to be like constantly kind of yelling just so everyone could kind of hear what I was saying and giving the extras like what they're doing, what's going on in the shot, what their character's doing. For a couple of extras, we'd have them like walk across the frame, for example, in the party, just to make it feel like more of like a populated environment. And in the school shot, all the extras were just kind of sitting down, so that wasn't too complicated, but the hallway shot was very complicated. It's because we have a lot of people walking around. We want to make sure that camera can see the actresses the whole time, but can also see people walking by, just so it doesn't feel like there's nobody in the hallway. The talent, Joey, Tandaway, and Bella, they were super easy to work with. They read the script all the way through, so they kind of knew like before the shoot day even like started what we were getting that day. So working with talent was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be.
So, how'd you feel going into the first day of filming?
It's pretty awesome so far. It's
Once they get that set up, we'll be all good.
set up. But yeah, I'm really excited.
Are you nervous at all? Or you completely prepared?
I'm a bit nervous because I don't know how much this all works, but there's a lot of friends here, so I feel very comfortable.
So during post-production, I'll be mostly like looking over the final edit of the movie, kind of making sure that we get good music throughout the movie because Ms. V wants us to kind of make our own music. So like we're working with CME to make like a soundtrack for the movie, a super small soundtrack, but still. So with that, we're working with Corbin, who did the music last year for Day Tripper, and he's really talented. So I'm really excited to see what we can get going with him. And then also Justin from our class is making a song right now. It's a very good song. I'm super excited to see how that works into the movie. And then DeAndre from our class too also made the party music that plays in the background of Maddie's party. So we've been working a lot with music this year, and I'm really happy because I really like to implement music into whatever I make. I mean, I think music is a huge part of conveying emotions, setting an atmosphere. So I'm super happy with what we've been able to do with music in this movie so far. In addition to that, I'm kind of looking over the final edit. Dylan is our editor. He is very talented. So far it is looking very good. Each frame looks like exactly how I envisioned it when we were shooting it.
How do you feel about editing?
Scary.
Scary?
No, it's going well actually. It's going a lot faster than I thought it would. We went through like just cutting the scenes together and having raw footage. And we did audio editing and put the audio and made sure all the audio is good. And I worked with him on color grading to make sure the look of the film was good. And we talked about different ideas we had for transitions and just different feels to the film and how we could put it all together to make it look professional.
During post, I am sound editing. So I am taking all the footage Dylan, the editor, is giving me, And then I am overlaying sound effects, clearing up dialogue, making it sound amazing.
Finally, just kind of preparing for the premiere night. So just kind of looking into what needs to go into that, what we're gonna have to get to make that be as great of a night as we can make it.
Said the words I can't unsay. Burned the bridge and walked away. Thought I'd be fine, thought I'd be free. But now the silence is haunting me. If I've had keys, like on my screen, I'd rewind every stupid scene. Ctrl+Z, take it back from me. Every broken line, every time I try. If I can do the mess I made, I'd bring you back, I'd make you stay. But life's no keyboard under me, and I can't press Ctrl+Z.